Man, I still don't feel like editing that Noli video yet. Let me open up Twitter. Oh, cool. The Forsaken team have gotten control back of the game. That's nice. Let's see what they had to say about it. What in the glaze is this? Hate. Let me tell you how much I've begun to hate Forsaken's priority strategy since I've begun to live. There are 16,499,000 Robux spent in malice and XP boosts that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each Shedletsky of those thousands upon thousands of Robux, it would not equal 1/1,000,000th of the hate I feel for Forsaken's priority strategy at this micro instance for its development. Hate. Okay, I'm going to try and word this video in the least unhinged way possible. If you're here for my more analytical videos, I'm sorry, but this isn't going to be one of them, honestly. I just need to vent my frustrations about a topic that's been on my mind for the past few days. Let's make this crystal clear. Do not harass anyone mentioned in this video. If you do, you're not part of my audience and I completely disavow you. And if you end up enjoying this little rant of mine, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Now, let me just get started. Put simply, I am getting increasingly frustrated with the way Forsaken is being handled, from both a development standpoint and a PR standpoint. In the past 2 weeks, even without Soul, I have seen countless dramas that could have been easily avoided if the team didn't take such baffling decisions. The first thing that's absolutely confusing to me is the way Forsaken just scraps content or fire people just because they seemingly feel like it. Let's start off with the content scrapping. When I saw on Twitter that the Face Laws collab got scrapped for the first time post March 18th, the entire reason it didn't come back was Soul was a petty little loser about it. Then, once Soul was finally removed, there was talks of bringing it back, with literally every fan of both Face Laws and Forsaken waiting for the collab with bated breath. Only to be disappointed again by the Forsaken developers deciding to scrap the content because they felt like it? What? I am genuinely baffled by this decision. The only thing that's been stated is that there's a lack of interest towards it. Being quite blunt, the hell do you mean lack of interest? Literally half the Forsaken community was looking forward to this, especially with the amount of effort seemingly put into the collab. Themes and skins were done. Rokimaru, whose tweets I'm going to be using as sources here, please be kind to them, was rightly concerned about this. Quote, "It doesn't help that most of the collab is done, and what's left of it isn't a lot, and isn't hard to finish up either. To make it worse, the whole situation with dev exclusive things, the hierarchy of around 3 major devs in control, gatekeeping dev exclusive things from other staff makes this worse." When I read this part, my jaw actually dropped. What the hell do you mean the gatekeeping issue with Forsaken developers has gotten so bad that they're gatekeeping things from other developers? Originally, I used to absolutely loathe the idea of an MLG chance being a tester only skin. But if what I'm getting from this tweet is right, I'm starting to feel bad for the testers too. I'm not saying you should be a tester only skin, I just feel bad for the testers. This is the reason why MLG chance was created, for the sole purpose of testers having something. Because when you have asshole developers, not naming names, Cartman landing stuff in front of other staff, people are going to get upset and petty. Looking at this from an outside point of view, from just being an average Joe, I already feel frustrated at the pure lack of communication from the developers. All I've seen is negativity or bad news being announced. The only time I ever hear about game updates are Discord stages, which the majority of people who have a life outside of the Discord platform aren't going to be able to attend due to time zone differences. There's no room for giving feedback or asking questions anymore, because it's locked behind a time zone that most people with regular work schedules can't make it to. And most of the time, balancing discussion is kept between developers. And oh boy, just look at TAF and 2x rework releases and you'll know how that turned out. I'd also like to mention the absolutely abysmal handling of the layoffs they did a while back. Why did a ton of the biggest people that helped make Forsaken what it is today get fired? I still can't get over how they fired Niche Shroud out of everyone. Are we serious? I genuinely think Forsaken would not have its OST glazed as much as it would without her contributions. She made Gas Harpoon's entire theme and its Last Man Standing a song that is constantly used in Forsaken edits and is arguably for the most used John Doe skin in the game. She made 1x's theme a literal main killer in the game. She also made the theme for Glass Houses, which is a major map in the game. She also made the lobby theme that plays every single time you're not in the match. She also literally voiced Gas Harpoon. Did I mention Gas Harpoon? The most insane part about this is that apparently the music team does not want her back on. Excuse me? Not to sound entitled or like a glazer, but why is the musician team, who are mostly paid for 1 or 2 songs each, suddenly dictate the entire thing the owners do? It feels like the owners have too much power for some decisions and then absolutely zero for others. It's utterly inconsistent and so irritating. Moving on to my next point, another thing that I've seen recently that's really ticked me off is the way they handled getting ownership of the game back. I understand they went through legal stuff, as they've said, but the way they announced it really got on my nerves. Quote, after 3 to 4 weeks, with help from Soul, Forsaken has been returned to the development team. Basil and I will still be leading the game going forward, as well as progress for the game will now speed up substantially now that legal stuff has been finished. Harriet and his team have been removed. Now, this by itself isn't that bad of a post, but one thing that made me a bit suspicious was the wording. With help from Soul. Alright, maybe I'm looking too far into it. Let's look into the other posts related to this. Quote, well, I cannot go into too much detail. This outcome would not have been possible had Soul not stepped in to help us get all of this sorted and figured out. There is a lot that they want to speak about, and they will with time. They have a lot to say, and will sometime soon. First of all, what the hell is this wording? To be clear, I don't have any personal vendettas with Toko and Basil, and do not tolerate any harassment towards them. But I need to make my stance on this clear. Why are we getting complacent? Even if the best outcome wasn't possible without Soul, why would you go out of your way to play PR for them? Why the hell would you go out of your way to embarrass yourself online and publicly praise a groomer pedophile Nazi who caused you this quote-unquote problem in the first place? And why in the world are we advertising their response? Why do we need to care what this heartless loser, who's admitted to never changing, by the way, has to say? Why are you plugging their response as if it's still 1 month ago, where they had all the time in the world to respond? This comes off as utterly spineless. You know a bad person can do good things without you having to praise them for it? You could have kept silent and just stated, we have acquired Forsaken back, and it is outside of the hands of both Soul and the studio now. When people understandably gave Toko flack for this, look at how they replied. Quote, this outcome would not have been possible had Soul not wanted to do this for the team. I can't go into details due to an NDA, but know that the other outcome would have had the game and the team itself fearing for their jobs and safety, as well as a bunch of other stuff. Again, why do they feel the need to weirdly defend Soul? Soul did the bare minimum. In fact, below that, all they did was reverse the decision that they made in the first place when they backstabbed the Forsaken team and ran away with $2 million. And don't give me that, oh, but the money was returned bullshit. They only did that because of legal repercussions and the fear of getting caught. Soul is a spineless, disgusting coward that left the game in its current messy state. I cannot state how stupid of them it is to thank them like they've done anything notable. I'm sorry for getting emotional, but I know a few victims and I really don't want to see their experiences invalidated with the rhetoric being spread right now. Then, somebody decides to speak up for Soul on Twitter, and good lord, this is pathetic. I'll be censoring their username so nobody harasses them, but just look at this. Quote, I've been handling a lot of this stuff behind the scenes, and there's a lot I can't say because of NDA, but what I can and will say, the $2 million deal for the game was not instant. It was only to be given at the end of the deal and when the deal was terminated. The 400 million Robux is being returned to the team. Soul will apologize / address everything. Not now, but eventually. There is a lot that has happened and that we are not aware of, and that I can confirm are truthful. I ask that you please remain respectful and calm during this time, and when it comes to hear or read what happened, you maintain that level of respectfulness as it does contain really serious topics. Again with the weird glazing of Soul. Why are we trying to set them up on some sort of redemption arc with their half-assed apology when they've already shown their true colours? I can't even word it better than these two tweets here, dog. Just look at them on the screen. On Basil's Discord and Twitter, they're also weirdly glazing Soul and giving them props for some weird reason. Initiation Jason says, friendly friend. Soul does not deserve any props. The fuck? I don't know, man. Donating another 12.5k USD when they weren't obligated to whatsoever isn't something that we can brush off or ignore. I get everyone is still angry, but I'm not going to be an asshole and completely disregard it, especially since it's going to charity. On top of this, Soul is the reason why all the legal kerfuffle is over now and the game's ownership is transferred to the development team once more. So, wow. Somebody reversing damage that they did in the first place and donating 0.6% of the money they stole. How kind. Soul has been given literal years of chances and should not even be given the chance to apologize at this point. This weird "thank you Soul" narrative is utterly infuriating and invalidating to the victims and shouldn't really be tolerated at all. If I were to play a devil's advocate here, if Basil and Toko were forced by some legal hand to say these things, including the weird "thank you Soul" narrative, I still think there could have easily been better ways to word this. And no, I don't think everyone who's happy about this is suddenly a Soul glazer. I just think that the new owners of Forsaken should just not be giving Soul a platform in any way. Zero props should be given to them whatsoever for doing the bare minimum. Keep in mind that this is my opinion after all, but I just don't think this is somebody we should be allowing a response at all. Like, just look at this and tell me whether they deserve a response with a straight face.
Soul cannot blame anyone else for his actions, as he was the one to spread the victim's nude photos in front of the victim themselves in the first place, even admitting to catfishing them and being the one to obtain the nude photos. Regardless of the victim sending the nude photos first, Soul had catfished them in 2019, making the victim 16 at the time, and saved the proof for multiple years, making this revenge porn of a minor. Soul had also known that CSM was wrong around 2020. He says he witnessed CP being posted in a Roblox subcommunity and nothing had been done about it. However, some people who were involved within the community wrote a document about how this was fabricated, and they couldn't find anything about this happening. But a year later, he would go on to post Rant CSM of this victim. Regardless of who the victim is today, Soul did this in 2021 and posted it in front of multiple minors out of the blue. This recontextualizes all of the messages Soul sent in 2021 talking about CSM, because these were likely referring to this specific victim, meaning they weren't just edgy jokes. There is no excusing this. They also show proof of Soul blackmailing the victim by threatening to spread their nudes. He has never taken accountability for this and has actually blamed multiple people for multiple years.
That should be everything. There's other issues I planned on discussing in this video, but they just aren't as serious, so I'll save them for another video. Again, this is more of a low effort rant, but I just really wanted to get my opinion out there. If you enjoyed this video, as usual, just like, subscribe, join my channel membership for as low as $5. You can also optionally join my Discord. I did just revamp it, so if you want to be one of the first to join, there's your choice. Again, as a reminder, Soul does not deserve a response, and the Forsaken team should not even be entertaining the idea of platforming it in any way, shape, or form. This, however, does not mean you should harass the Forsaken team. Again, at the end of the day, this is just a silly Roblox game that I love with all my heart. I have literally 19 days in this game. Why would I make a video this passionate if I didn't care about it? I just want what's best for this game and what's best for the game's future. Yeah, that's everything I have to say. See you next time. Okay, I forgot to mention that I'm going to be releasing the Nodi video earlier than usual because testing came out and I don't want my video idea sniped. So see you guys sooner than expected, I guess.